You know, sometimes basketball is a strange game. In practice, the second unit guys dominated the first unit guys with tremendous enthusiasm and fire. And Dylan Mitchell, Ian Jackson, Ruben Prey, 15 for 27 from the field, 1 turnover and 17 rebounds. And it was a carryover from practice. And the good thing is that first unit was struggling on offense, and because of our depth, they came in and gave us a big lift. So it's exciting to see.
What did you think of Ian tonight? He kind of looked like he was just playing and reacting and not thinking too much.
I thought he did a really good job, defensively as well as offensively. He didn't force things, he took it when it was there. In practice, he's getting better and better. So really, really pleased with his play.
The no turnovers, Dylan was saying that obviously that's a big thing you had been talking about, you know, past the turnovers. How big is that, and how much is something tonight you think something he can build on?
Well, what we try to do is stay away from turnovers that are not caused by us. If the defense makes a great play, you give them credit. Like Dylan Mitchell today defensively was a demon. And if the defense does that to you, you give them credit. But what he was doing was turning it over by himself, and it wasn't the defense causing it, and that's where he's really gotten better.
Rick, the three-point shooting of Bryce Hopkins tonight, teams seem like they're willing to leave him open out there, and him making three-pointers, how important is that for your team and to kind of free everything up for your offense?
It's very important, and he passed up about 3 wide open in the first. Sometimes with guys, they don't like being wide open. You know, it's like Zuby struggled a little bit tonight because nobody was playing him. The guy was sitting back in the lane, very similar to what Arizona did to Connecticut. So you must be a screener there. You get basically, they're playing 4 defenders versus 5, so you got to be a great screener. It was a little unusual for him, and it bothered him.
Rick, how did you feel about the physical nature of the way that your guys played tonight?
I thought they played together. I thought our defense, our deflections were, I think, 40-something deflections, which is unheard of. I thought we were very active defensively. In the second half, we did a much better job offensively. I think they struggled a little bit with the zone by not getting the right reads, but then they picked it up in the second half and did a great job.
A lot of times it seemed like you went with more of a shooting lineup and 2 bigs than, you know, the 3 bigs. Is that something that you like, that you might be leaning toward doing a little more?
No, I think I think you're finally going to realize. I don't think any of you will ever ask the question who's starting again. I think now you realize that if you ask that question, you realize that you're not highly intelligent, which you guys are. So you're never going to ask that question again because it's totally irrelevant, as you witnessed tonight, Roger, being that cerebral person that you are. So I don't think that the good thing is you're not going to say, well, who's going to start? Because you're going to think of the game itself and what's important. I know you and Zach are just going to go home and think about that for a long time.
I'm going to try to figure out if I was insulted just...
No, you were not. You were not. I called you cerebral.
So Coach Pitino, you said earlier during St. John's Media Day, talking about how Bryce Hopkins wasn't at the level of greatness that you thought he was. After a performance like tonight, do you think he's anywhere closer to that now?
I would judge that with the Iowa State game, not tonight. I would judge performance from Iowa State.
Rick, do you know who's starting at Iowa State?
I knew you were going to say. Yeah, we're going to go with Tamba and Fotis just to start out the game.
Okay. Rick, we're obviously now headed into a huge week. How intrigued and interested are you in how this team is going to do in Vegas? And, you know, obviously Alabama, you didn't necessarily pass that first test, although they played really well. How big of a week is this coming up for you guys?
I think Iowa State, Houston, Iowa State are as difficult to play against as any teams in basketball. Their defensive rebounding is relentless. They're very physical, so it's great for us to play against this type of competition. You have all of who's who in basketball, and I said this, I am so impressed with college basketball, more so than I've ever been in my coaching career, in terms of execution and talent. The influx of foreign players not going to the pros, and I'm talking about Division I pro teams in Europe, because they get paid more money here, has made our game so much stronger. Other players staying in college has made the game so much stronger. So you watched last night, I believe it was 3 Arizona players were freshmen, but 2 of them are foreign players playing professional basketball probably for 3 or 4 years. So they're not the high school kid going into, they're very experienced players. So I think college basketball right now, from an execution talent standpoint, is at its zenith. I don't think it can get any better. Connecticut, we had 2 players out, they played awesome. We played a terrific game against Alabama. Alabama goes into Illinois and beats a team ranked ahead of them. Gonzaga's been incredible. So college basketball is in great shape. I know everybody wants to knock NIL and transfer portal. I'm talking about what takes place between the lines. College basketball could not be better.
Rick, going back to the substitution in the early minutes, what was it that you saw? Was it tactical, or was it about effort and the standard of effort that you?
It definitely was an effort. I wanted to talk to those guys. They were rushing on offense, and they were being stymied a little bit by the zone. So I wanted to talk to them. There was nothing that they, from an effort standpoint, that they were not doing.
And in the rest of the game, especially in the second half, did you see what you wanted to see from everybody?
Yeah, it's tough. When you have a big lead, you're up 30, 40 points. The other team's defeated mentally. You really can't judge your execution. You just try and not embarrass anybody, play hard, and get out of the game.
Rick, when you look at next week, do you think we're going to learn things about this team?
I think our basketball team, very similar to quite a few other teams I've witnessed, like Kentucky, needs time to develop. When you have 4 new starters, it takes time. I think we're going to get better and better and better and better. We're not there yet because we have 4 new players. We're a deep team with a great attitude. We're not going to get, if we go 3-0, we're not going to embrace it. If we go 2-1, we're not going to be disappointed. We're just going to play and get better because we have 4 new starters. I think we'll play well, but look, this is 18 great teams, and we got one of the tougher teams in the first matchup. So we're looking forward to the challenge.
Thank you, Coach.